The train left the station just before sunset. The sky outside was painted with soft orange and pink colors. People sat quietly in their seats. Some looked out of the windows. Some listened to music. Others were busy with their phones. Among them was a young man named Daniel. Daniel sat near the window. He was 27 years old. His dark jacket looked neat, but his face showed exhaustion. He had been working in the city for years. Every day felt the same. Wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat. He stared outside as the train moved through the countryside. Fields passed by, trees passed by, small villages appeared and disappeared, but Daniel hardly noticed any of them. His mind was somewhere else. A week earlier, he had lost his job. The company where he worked had reduced staff. Hundreds of people were let go. Daniel was one of them. For years, he had believed that hard work would protect him. Now he wasn't so sure. His savings were limited. His confidence was fading. He hadn't told many people because he felt embarrassed. As the train continued its journey, Daniel sighed deeply. That was when someone sat across from him, an older woman. She looked to be around 70 years old. Her silver hair was tied neatly behind her head. She wore a simple blue coat and carried a small brown bag. She smiled politely. Daniel nodded and returned his attention to the window. Several minutes passed in silence. Then the woman spoke. "Beautiful evening, isn't it?" Daniel looked outside. "I guess so." The woman smiled again. "You don't sound very convinced." Daniel forced a small laugh. "Maybe I'm just tired." The woman nodded. Tired people often stop noticing beautiful things. Her words surprised him. Daniel didn't answer. The train continued moving. The woman looked outside. "When I was younger, I used to think sunsets happened every day." Daniel looked confused. "They do happen every day," he said. The woman laughed softly. "Yes, but I mean I thought they would always be there for me. I thought I had unlimited chances to enjoy them." Daniel listened quietly. "Then one day, I realized life moves much faster than we expect." Something about her voice felt warm and sincere. Daniel found himself paying attention. "Are you traveling far?" the woman asked. "Not really. Just to my hometown. Visiting family." Daniel hesitated, trying to figure out my life. The woman smiled gently. "That's an important trip." For the first time that day, Daniel felt like talking. "I lost my job." The words came out more easily than he expected. The woman nodded calmly. "I'm sorry." Daniel looked down. "I worked there for 6 years. That is a long time. I thought I was building something stable." The woman listened carefully. "I did everything right. I worked hard. I stayed late. I never complained." She remained silent. Daniel continued. "And now it's gone." The woman folded her hands. "May I tell you something?" Daniel nodded. "When I was 32 years old, I lost everything." Daniel looked up. "Everything?" She smiled. "At least that's how it felt." The train entered a tunnel. For a few moments, darkness surrounded them. Then the train emerged back into the fading sunlight. The woman continued. "My husband and I owned a small bookstore." Daniel listened. "We loved that little store. It wasn't fancy. It didn't make us rich, but it was ours." Her eyes softened with memory. One year, a large shopping center opened nearby. Daniel already knew where the story was going. Customers stopped coming. The woman nodded. Month after month, business became worse. She paused. "We tried everything. Discounts, events, advertisements, and we lost the store." Daniel felt a strange connection to her story. "What happened after that?" The woman laughed quietly. "I cried." Daniel smiled for the first time. "At least you're honest. Very honest." The woman looked outside. "For months I believed my life was ruined." The countryside was growing darker now. Lights began appearing in distant homes. "But one day," she continued, "my husband told me something I never forgot." "What did he say?" The woman looked directly at Daniel. "He said, sometimes life closes one door because you're standing in front of the wrong one." Daniel thought about the sentence. It sounded simple, yet somehow powerful. "What happened next?" he asked. "We started over." "Doing what?" "We began teaching children how to read." Daniel looked surprised. "Really?" She nodded. "We rented a tiny room. No shelves, no bookstore, just books and children." Her smile grew wider. "It became the happiest work of our lives." Daniel could hear the pride in her voice. "You never expected that, did you?" "Not at all." The train rocked gently as it moved forward. For a while, neither of them spoke. Then Daniel asked quietly, "How do you know when things will get better?" The woman thought for a moment. "You don't." Daniel sighed. "That's not very encouraging." She laughed. "No, but it's true." The laughter between them felt natural, comfortable. The woman leaned back. "Most of life is uncertainty." Daniel nodded slowly. "I hate uncertainty. Everyone does." The woman pointed toward the window. Outside, darkness was spreading across the landscape. "Can you see the whole journey ahead?" ahead. No. Can the train? Daniel frowned. I don't know. The driver can only see a limited distance ahead. Daniel looked thoughtful. The woman continued. But the train keeps moving anyway. Daniel sat silently. Something inside him was beginning to change. The fear he carried felt a little lighter. Not gone, but lighter. The woman reached into her bag. She pulled out a small notebook. Its cover looked old and worn. She opened it carefully. Inside were handwritten notes. What is that? Daniel asked. My collection. Collection of what? Wisdom. Daniel laughed. That sounds serious. It is. She turned several pages. My husband and I spent years writing down lessons we learned. Daniel watched her. She found a page and read aloud. The future rarely arrives the way we imagine it. Another page. A bad chapter is not the end of the story. Another page. People are stronger than they think. Daniel listened quietly. Each sentence felt simple, yet each one stayed with him. The train slowed briefly at a small station. A few passengers got off. Others got on. The woman closed her notebook. My husband passed away 5 years ago. Daniel's expression softened. I'm sorry. She smiled sadly. Thank you. For a moment, she looked out the window. I still miss him every day. Daniel didn't know what to say. The woman continued. But I am grateful. For what? For the years we had. Daniel nodded. The train started moving again. The night sky was now full of stars. Passengers around them had grown quieter. Some were sleeping. Others were reading. The journey felt peaceful. The woman suddenly asked, if your life was a book, what chapter would this be? Daniel thought carefully. The chapter where everything falls apart. The woman smiled. Maybe. Daniel looked at her. What would you call it? She thought for a second. The chapter before everything changes. Daniel stared at the dark window. His reflection looked different somehow. Less defeated. More hopeful. Maybe she was right. Maybe this wasn't the ending. Maybe it was simply a difficult chapter. The train continued through the night. They talked for another hour. About dreams. About mistakes. About family. About regrets. The conversation felt effortless, as if they had known each other for years. Eventually, the train announced the next station. Daniel checked his ticket. This was his stop. He stood up slowly. So this is goodbye. The woman smiled warmly. For now. Daniel hesitated. I don't even know your name. The woman laughed. Margaret. I'm Daniel. It's nice to meet you, Daniel. He smiled. You too. Then he paused. Thank you. Margaret tilted her head. For what? For reminding me that my story isn't over. The woman's eyes sparkled. That's because it isn't. The train slowed. Daniel picked up his bag. Before leaving, Margaret handed him a small piece of paper. Take this. Daniel unfolded it. On it were words written in neat handwriting. The chapter before everything changes. Daniel looked up. Margaret smiled one last time. Then he stepped off the train. The cool night air touched his face. The train doors closed. Slowly, the train pulled away. Daniel stood on the platform watching it disappear into the darkness. He looked at the note again. For the first time in weeks, he felt something he thought he had lost. Hope. He still didn't have a job. He still didn't know what would happen next. But he knew one thing. Life was not finished with him yet. Sometimes a stranger enters your life for only a few hours. Yet their words stay with you forever. And sometimes, one unexpected conversation is enough to change the direction of an entire life.